Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Gordon Frayne and today we are diving into another price prediction video, this time for Algorand. As always, before we jump into the topic, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button below if you enjoy the content. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to our first 1,000 subscribers and it would mean the world if you subscribed, and hit that bell notification icon so you can get updated every time we drop a new video. We're dropping multiple videos every single week and you're going to want to get notified so you can stay up to date with all the latest moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystem and hit your crypto goals. So let's dive into a price prediction for Algorand. And as always, when we do price predictions on this channel, we're going to take a look at Algorand through these 5 pillars before jumping into the price prediction in the second half of the video. So make sure you stick around until the end. Firstly, we're going to look at fundamentals, a little bit about narratives, a little bit of technical analysis followed by their team, before finally looking at the tokenomics before we jump into the price prediction. So, first and foremost, what is Algorand? Well, at a fundamental level, Algorand is a layer 1 blockchain that aims to be a powerful and sustainable alternative to other layer 1s like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, etc. And they are basically trying to solve the blockchain trilemma that every layer 1 blockchain is trying to solve by creating something that is scalable, secure, and as decentralized as possible. And as we will look at in a moment, a big area that I believe Algorand has a strength and a differentiating factor in is the real world asset narrative. We'll jump into that in a moment, but on their website they do outline some key differentiators of Algorand versus other blockchains. So first and foremost, scalability. They can execute up to 10,000 transactions per second. Speed and instant finality, blocks finalized in less than 3 seconds. No ambiguity, a network design that prevents contradictory ownership records. Reliability with zero downtime. Security with inherent protection against protocol and network attacks. Affordability, sustainability, smarter programmability, and cryptographic innovation with fast Byzantine agreement, verifiable random functions, post-quantum security through state proofs, etc. So these are some of the ways that Algorand really tries to differentiate itself. However, they do fall short on some of these specific metrics versus other layer 1 blockchains like Solana or newer blockchains like Sui. So, they're going to have to be doing a lot of work to stay on top of the different narratives in the space, which brings us on to our next pillar, which is the different narratives that Algorand is part of. So really, obviously, being a layer 1 blockchain, it is part of the layer 1 narrative. Decentralized applications are trying to find we're trying to create a protocol that makes it user-friendly and developer-friendly for building decentralized applications. DeFi and decentralized finance, we'll touch on that a little bit in a moment. And then the big one for me is real-world assets when it comes to Algorand. So as we can see here, they're highlighting this on their website in a big way for the importance of real-world assets on Algorand and the importance of tokenizing real-world assets using blockchains like Algorand. So creating an efficient, transparent, accessible way to tokenize real-world assets and increase liquidity so that we are going to see a lot more tokenization of things like real estate, bonds, treasuries, etc. on the blockchain over the coming years. We outlined this in other videos on the channel. The real-world asset tokenization space is set to hit about $10 trillion by the year 2030. And blockchains like Algorand, Chainlink, and others are paving and creating the infrastructure for that real-world asset tokenization to happen. So again, empowering dynamic, inclusive, borderless, global ecosystem at scale. Again, highlighting some of the metrics here that Algorand likes to pride themselves on. A little bit about DeFi, so innovative with the greenest decentralized blockchain with a borderless digital economy built on an open source carbon negative network. And then this is the example we were just mentioning, again, with real world assets where they've created some good case studies with the likes of Lofty. You guys can check out other videos on our channel about real world assets where we showed you how Algorand is helping businesses like Lofty to create fractional real estate on the blockchain, and Lofty are using the Algorand blockchain to create fractional real estate investment opportunities for retail investors and institutional investors. You can dive into that in much more detail, but for me, this narrative and this area of real-world asset tokenization is probably one of the stronger plays when it comes to the Algorand blockchain and how they are trying to position and differentiate themselves from other layer ones. Diving into the technical analysis, what we're going to take a look at here is the chart over the past few years. We did see some kind of artificial all-time highs with Algorand when it first launched, followed by a big dip. But we're going to take the true all-time high somewhere above the $2.90 mark here in the period of Q3 2021, when we were seeing the height of the previous bull cycle. Algorand was able to put in prices above $2.50 and aiming closer to $2.96. After that, we did see a big retracement, one of the biggest retracements we saw of many altcoins in the space. All throughout 2022, we saw a big drop in price. And then even through 2023, when we did see other altcoins kind of go through more of an accumulation year, Algorand did continue to drop even further, all the way down to about 8 cents at its lowest point. However, it has seen a good bounce since those 8 cents lows in the middle of 2023. It is now up about 213% since the middle of 2023, sitting at a current price around 26.5 cents. So still a long ways down from its all-time highs, but it has seen a good bounce in line with the market correction from the rest of the altcoin market, and is probably an average performer here when it comes to being up 213%, maybe up a little bit more than some others. We're definitely seeing most of the altcoins up well over 100% since Q3 and Q4 of last year. So definitely some positive price movement and lots of room for growth. Still a long ways off all-time highs, so lots of price movement that can happen there. A little bit about the team behind Algorand. We've got the founder, Silvio Micali, other notable mentions here for the head of engineering research, Naveed Insula, Jing Cheng, the head of theory research and chief scientist, head of product, Paul Riegel. So lots of intelligent people behind the Algorand blockchain. From doing a little bit of research on Silvio Micali and looking at some of his experience, he is a pretty well-renowned figure in the blockchain and computer science space. He did work as a professor of engineering at MIT Computer Science and AI Laboratory for about 40 years, according to his LinkedIn profile, and was an AM Turing Award winner at UC Berkeley College of Engineering as well. So obviously a very intelligent mind behind the Algorand blockchain with a very solid team behind it as well. Finally, moving on to the tokenomics before our price prediction. What we see here when we look at the pricing today, as we said, here on April 1st, 2024, we're sitting at about 26.5 cent price for Algorand. When we zoom out on the chart, we can see that Algorand was hitting a market cap peak of around 13.4 billion when it was putting in those all-time high prices back in November of 2021. We saw an all-time high market cap of about $13 billion. The circulating supply today is just over 8 billion algo tokens in circulation, which is about 80% of the entire supply of 10 billion. And when we zoom down and take a zoom out, this date is actually wrong. This should be November 2021. But when we look at the historical snapshot of Algorand in the week when it was putting in those all-time highs, what we see is that the circulating supply for algo tokens was around 6.25 billion. So we have had a pretty decent increase in tokens in circulation since it was putting in those all-time highs in November 2021. And that is important when it comes to the price prediction, because we know that we have to divide the overall market cap by the number of tokens in circulation to give us the price per token. And if there are a huge amount more tokens in circulation, as we can see, a 29.5% increase, so pretty much 30% more tokens now in circulation than were in circulation when it was putting in those previous all-time highs, that means the price per token has to do a lot more work in order to reach even the same all-time highs or the previous all-time highs that the token was currently at, because there are simply 30% more tokens in circulation. In this case, over, pretty much 2 billion extra tokens in circulation versus the last bull cycle. So again, what we're going to estimate for our price prediction in this assumption is that there will be roughly 8.2 billion tokens in circulation by the middle to end of 2025. One positive thing to note here is that we are already 80% vested with over 80% of the tokens in circulation. So by the time we get to, the year 2030 and closer to that next decade, we won't have such dramatic price increases, because we can only have about 20% more than we have today, because we're almost at the 10 billion cap. Finally, the market dominance is the last thing we'll look at before we jump into the price prediction. And basically what this shows us is that the current market dominance of Algorand versus the rest of the market is sitting at 0.1%. So again, this is pretty low compared to what it was at its previous all-time highs, when it was putting in those prices of above $2.50, closer to $2.90. We were seeing Algorand at a market dominance of around 0.52%. So it's obviously down a lot since its market dominance highs, and this is another variable that we're going to be plugging into our price prediction equation, which we will jump into now. So given all of this fundamental around Algorand, let's jump into our bear case, base case, and bull case scenarios for a price prediction. As always, we do have to make some assumptions here when it comes to these price predictions. So, there's variables that we have to plug into this equation. We obviously have to use educated guesses based on all the data that we have on hand. So that is why you will see us making some assumptions here. But the first assumption we're going to make is that in a bear case scenario, the overall crypto market cap can reach a peak of around $4 trillion US. If we assume that Algo can get back to a 0.3% dominance, which is tripling where it is today in terms of market dominance, definitely very doable. That would give Algorand a $12 billion market cap, which is just below its previous all-time high market cap. But there are far more Algo in circulation this time around. So dividing that 12 billion market cap by 8.2 billion Algo gives us a price target of about $1.46 for Algorand. However, even though it's not as high as it was the previous time around, it is still a 5.6x multiple from today's prices of 27 cents. Moving on to our base case scenario, what we're saying is that the total crypto market cap could reach a peak of around $6 trillion, $2 trillion more than the $4 trillion estimate here in the bear case scenario. If we say that Algo can get back to a 0.4% overall dominance, that would give it a $24 billion market cap. And again, dividing that $24 billion market cap by 8.2 billion Algo tokens gives us a $2.93 price prediction, which is pretty much in line with its previous all-time highs. However, that is still an 11.2x from today's prices. Finally, moving on to our most bullish scenario, what we're seeing here is the total crypto market cap could reach a peak of around $8 trillion US. If Algorand can get back to its previous all-time high market dominance of about 0.5%, that would give it a $40 billion overall market cap. And then again, dividing that 40 billion by the 8.2 billion Algo we estimate to be in circulation by middle to end of 2025, when we estimate the peak of this bull cycle to occur. That gives us our bull case price prediction for Algorand of about $4.87, which is an 18x multiple from today's prices. So while some of these numbers might look underwhelming, our base case scenario is coming in just around the same price target as its previous all-time high. because Algorand has such a big retracement in the bear market, that still gives it over an 11x price multiple from today's prices. So if you are a bullish investor in Algorand and you were buying the dip all the way down, firstly, well done to you. But secondly, even if we just get back to those previous all-time highs, you could still be making an 11x from today's prices, and even more if you were buying the dip even lower when Algorand was putting in those all-time lows in the middle of 2023. So well done to you if you were buying all the way down. So, while the number or the US dollar price target may not be as high as, some people might think that it would be, we're still high on the multiple side of things for an 11x in our base case scenario, and even upwards of 15 to 18x from today's prices on a bull case scenario where Algorand could get towards a $40 billion market cap. So let us know in the comments below. Are you an Algorand bull? Are you holding Algorand as part of your bull run bag? What price do you think Algorand is going to in this bull run? Let us know. Drop a comment below. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to our first 1,000 followers and subscribers. It would mean the world if you subscribed and hit that bell notification icon so you can get notified as we drop more price prediction videos. We're going to be dropping multiple price prediction videos every single week, so you're going to want to get notified. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.